Hi, we're back, and I'm hoping that this is all going to work. Fourth time lucky today. So I've got the notifications, and fingers crossed that we have both sound and vision. Do let me know if we do. Thank you so much for joining me. So it is a Monday, the 16th of May. My name's Jenny McCormack. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I'm based in the market town of Brackley, which is in Northamptonshire in the UK. Hands and voice. Oh, bless you, Susan. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate your feedback. Hooray, we've got there. Fingers crossed nothing else goes awry. So we are using the Sending Smiles stamp set this week. This is my stamp set of the week, and it features some really nice floral images. None of these need to be coloured in, so if you're not a fan of colouring in, then this could be a good stamp set for you. And what I do like about this, as I was saying earlier, but you couldn't hear me, is that there are 8 really useful sentiments that go with the word sending. Now, you don't have to use it with the word sending, you can use them in their own right. So we have love and big hugs, birthday wishes, a note of thanks, a card to say hello, comfort and strength, and then smiles across the miles, all the good luck your way, and sunshine to brighten your day. So those 3 probably do need the word sending. These ones would work entirely on their own if you prefer. And the actual images are larger than you see here. So if I pick out the word sending, for example, it's much bigger than on the front cover, and that's just so they can get all of the images excuse me, printed on the front cover. And it tells you at the bottom that the images are 80% of their final size. So a really good stamp set. You've got 3 main stalks. This one is just leaves. This is a single flower head. This is a double flower head. Then we've got additional leaves, and then lots of different types of different flower heads. So we've got like a daisy type look here and here. We've got an open flower here, another one here, and then an upright one here that looks a little bit like it could be heather, it could be lavender, depending on the colour. And then we've got this little selection here. So a really easy stamp set to use, and it does have matching dies, and we'll be using the dies later in the week. What I like about there's a number of things I like about the dies. Obviously it cuts out the main images. It also has 2 long slim dies that allow you to put your sentiments onto either of these 2. And we also have the word sending. Just lift that off there. Now you can't see it in detail because obviously this is the die, but it has also an outline, so I'll be using this one later in the week. But for today, for our not so simple start Monday, we're just going to be using the stamps themselves. So let's put those to the side for the moment and actually get on and do some stamping. So here was a sample that I used, and this stamp set is going to be used at Coffee and Card this week. So this afternoon in Toaster. We used it Friday in Brackley of last week. So my base card for this is actually going to be Melon Mambo, and I've got a piece of white card that I'm going to use for my stamping. And I'm going to use Melon Mambo and Granny Apple Green as my colours for this particular card. And we really felt that you need to stamp the word sending first, unless you wanted to overlay it onto your flowers, so that you could position your flowers around it regardless of where you were stamping it. Obviously, if you're happy or you've got lighter colour backgrounds, then that wouldn't matter, but that was something we discovered really during our session on Friday. So this is our Melon Mambo ink pad. And I'm just going to grab a spare piece to stamp onto. And because this is photopolymer, I would recommend using our piercing mat underneath, or a mouse mat turned over. Okay, so I'm just going to try this out on here, see what my ink is like. I know this is off the bottom for you. I don't know why I've got such a shadow. Let's bring that up a bit. I think I moved my light for some photographs last night. Okay, so inking this one up, and for this one I'm going to do something slightly different. So I'm going to have my sending over here. I didn't put it very straight on my block. That's why that looks very weird. Okay, so there's my sending. And what shall we have on here? I think a note of thanks, which is this one here. Let's pop that onto a block. Let's just take it off this one for the minute. So depending on which sentiment you choose, you can tuck it right up underneath. Or if you've got a longer one, then you might need to leave a gap or have it further over, or pop it on one of the die cuts, or just on a strip of card. So there we go. I've got sending a note of thanks, as you can see on there. And then I'm going to add my flower here. Now do bear in mind that the stalks bend, and therefore the flowers will tend to come off to the left hand side. Okay, so just bear that in mind. So I'm actually going to put this one right over on the edge, so hopefully I have enough space, and I use Granny Apple Green for my stalk. Morning, Tracy. I'll leave that out ready. So, just inking this one up. Okay. So this is Granny Apple Green, but you could just use any green of your choice. Let's just want to make sure the top is inked up. There we go. Hi Joanne. Thank you for being so patient with me. Oh dear, we got there in the end. It was definitely, I'm sure it was definitely an update. The system did an update late last night when I finished, and I suspect that's what it was, because although it was showing my webcam up here as being attached and my microphone to the right of me being attached, they weren't really responding. Okay, so let's pop the flower heads on. Now what I like about the flower heads is that some little gaps in them, in between the petals. So it makes it much easier to place the flower heads at an angle wherever you want on your card. So I'm inking this up again in Melon Mambo. I need to take my glasses off though so I can see. So there's that one, and then I've got this little one here, I'm going to put that, and again I'm just looking for the split in the petals so that that sits on there nicely. Actually, I used a different one. Did I? Yes, I normally use the other one, but that's fine, or I have used the other one here. Okay, now there are some stamps for the centres of these. There's this oval shaped one. There's this one that specifically fits this daisy type head here. And then there's this tiny little one. Now, when we were there on Friday at Coffee and Card, I said, let's not use the little one because it will get lost. And I proceeded to show them how small the little one was. And of course, I couldn't find it. I'd already lost it. What can I say? So, what you can do, if you don't want to line those up, is just take a blends pen, for example. I've got light Mango Melody, and you can just fill the centres in. Obviously for the larger one you could still stamp it, but if you're not happy about stamping small, very small stamps accurately, then just use a pen for the centres. Okay, so I've got that. Now what I'm going to do is add some more greenery across the bottom. So I'm just going to use that simple leaf design. Let's move Melon Mambo out of the way. And I'm going to add this along the bottom. Now these are really nice leafy images, so you could make them work as grass if you wanted to. So I'm just going to pop these along the bottom at slightly different angles to make them look slightly different. You could also use the single leaf as well. There we go. I'll lift that up so you can see it a little bit better. So there's that. Let's get it straight for you. Okay, and obviously you could add more flowers on here, and the single stalk, you could build it up as much as you wanted to. What I'm going to do is use my blending brush and just blend in a bit of green across the bottom. So I'm going to turn this round. I don't really need the mat underneath it, but it does bring it up slightly towards you. Oh, I know why I've got a shadow. It's because I opened my blind at the side. There we go, that's better. I don't like too much of a shadow, otherwise you can't see what I'm doing. Okay, so I've got my green generic blending brush. So if you've been watching me for a while, you know that I just have a green, a blue, a red, a pink. I've got multiple green and blue actually for Coffee and Card. So just adding in this detail. And I've got the samples for our May card class. The email for that will go out straight after our live this morning. And it's a Cards for Men, or masculine cards. This month a lot of people struggle with masculine cards, and so I've used some new papers that will help you greatly. So just adding this detail across the bottom, so hopefully you can see how that's sort of coming in together. so. And I'm also going to add some blue for the sky. So I've got balmy blue here. Just shut those ink pads for the moment anyway. And here's my blue. A blue blending brush. And I'm just going to bring this in lightly to the sky. Okay, so I hope everybody has had a nice weekend. We've had a little bit of rain here overnight. The day was quite nice yesterday. We had a few little showers, but nothing as bad as they promised. There was thunderstorms promised on their way up overnight. But if they arrived here, I wasn't aware at all. Okay, just add a little bit in here. So I haven't gone particularly dark with that. But if I put it next to this one, hopefully you can see the difference. So it becomes more of a scene and less of a sort of clean and simple card, if that makes sense. So it's still simple, but just adding that changes the look of it. Okay, just going to do a little bit more on there. Bring that into the side. Okay, there we go. So this is going to be mounted onto a Melon Mambo piece of card, like so. I could put a layer behind it if I wanted to, just to bring in that green. I might do that in a minute. But I just want to do my inside piece. Let's just turn this over. Ooh, some marks on the back of that, but the front is fine. So I'm going to do the single stalk on the inside and the other flower head as well, just for something different. Don't quite fit on that one. So that's the double stalk. Morning, Sana. Thanks for joining us. This is our, I think this is our fourth take today. So we had an interruption, and then we had no sound, and then we had no vision. Hey ho, let's put this one on the left hand side. So that's the single stalk. I might add a little bit of this at the bottom though. Like so. And this time I'm going to use that single flower. Guess it's the right way around. So I'm going to do red and then yellow for the little head. Glasses are off. Don't think I've used this stamp. There we go. So I'm going to pop that in there like that, and then grab a small block, and the not quite so small stamp. Let's close those up. Just going to grab a yellow ink pad. I've got Mango Melody, that will do. So yep. So this just goes in at the top of the flower head, like so. There we go. Hope you can see that okay. And I'm going to leave the inside plain with no extra blending, and we'll just put the card together. There is so much you can do with this set. I just love the sentiments and the fact that it's got all of the dies to go with it. Okay, let's add some glue to this one, and then when I've finished I will show you our cards for our May class in a box. Oh, I was going to put a layer on, but never mind. It's Monday morning. It's going to be our simple start, which is really just stamping. That's the outside. It'll be enough to brighten anybody's day, wouldn't it? And then this is going to go on the inside. Like that. Get that centralized. There we go. So there's our inside, there's our outside, and we don't really want any naked envelopes, so I'm just going to repeat that inside flower on here if I can. Why not? Thank you, Jeanette. You take care too. So single flower head. I always open up the top of the envelope so you can see that you've got the envelope the right way round, and also it stops you if you're doing a higher stamp. It stops you getting the lip of the back of the stamp on there. Sometimes you can get a little bit of a gap. Okay, so this one next. And I do love our stamps for our envelopes rather for stamping on. A nice smooth finish. And then finally this little one here. Glasses off. There we go. So there's our finished envelope and our finished card. Very sweet. Happy with that. So I hope you like that. So that's what we're doing at Toaster this afternoon. If anybody is able to join us, we're at the Watling Street Village. 2:30 to 3:30 is the crafting time. So let me just clear these away, and then I'd like to show you the cards for this month's class in a box. Just grab these out So these are using He's All That stamp set. If you want to get the stamps to go with it, but all of the main images that you see here, these are die cuts and they're included in the pack that you get. So the stamp set is not crucial for making the cards, and also if you've got your own sentiments, then that's that will work too. So this one is a flip fold card. So this is where you put your sentiment in, and then this bit comes over. This is one of the dies that you get, the base one that comes with the die set, but you get some of those cut out ready for you. So there's that one. You can put a magnet there if you want to keep that closed, or a what do you call those things? A sticky hook and loops, that's the word. You could use one of those to shut it if you want to, but I quite like it. It stands open nice and easily as well. We've then got a diamond flip card. So this opens up like that. And again, this features the papers. This one is actually one of the stamps, but you could use one of the die cuts. Like so. Then we have this one. This is fun. So this uses the papers, and there's quite a few different themes with the papers and the die cuts. So we have camping, we've got cars, we've got beer, barbecues, shirts and ties. So a complete mix. So for this one, I've cut the paper in half and split it, put it on black card, and then I've used a white gel pen for the dotted lines in the middle. Okay. Then we have an infinity card, or never-ending card, everlasting card, whatever you want to call them. And these are all, with the exception of this one, this is a stamp, but these again are all taken from the die cuts that you'll get. This is the complete pack of die cuts, trying to take it out of the light. So you get a whole sheet of those in your pack. And then you get the papers as well, which are the papers as you can see. So we've got barbecue, we've got shirts and ties, shoes, we've got classic cars, and then we've got some other patterns as well. Okay, so the never-ending card literally opens and keeps going, like so, like so. So there's 4 different views. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the thing about men's cards is they do like the whole how did you do that engineering look, which is why I've gone for some pop-up cards as well as this one here. And then finally we have a pop-up box card, and for this I've featured the barbecue die cuts, but you could use any of those. So you could use the cars, for example. I'll just tilt that slightly like so. This will fit in a standard envelope, so I've sized it to fit, and it folds really nicely like so. And I've put pattern paper on the front and on the inside. You could also put pattern paper under there if you wanted to, but when it's folded flat down, you don't need to, in my opinion. So there's a pop-up box card. So those are the 5 designs for our class in a box for May. So booking for that opens basically now. It's £20 to take the class in a box, which will include all of the products except any stamped images. And you get half a pack of the papers, so you'll get 1 sheet of all of those die cuts, all the card bases and additional dies as well. You'll also get the metallic Not sure if you can see them here. They're like rustic self-adhesive dots. So you'll get some of those as well in your pack, and that's £20 delivered to the UK. You can also join our in-person class. That's £24. That's held in evenly. Or if you already have the papers, or you want to do the same thing with different papers, for example, and you just want the layouts and dimensions of the card, you can take our online only version, which doesn't include any product, but does include videos for each of the cards, the option to join our online class, and a file with all the dimensionals to which you have unlimited access. So if that is of interest to you, then watch out for an email coming your way. When is it? So the online class is Saturday. It's the last Saturday in May, so 20, I want to say the 28th. And then the in-person class is the 31st of May. But you'll get all of that information by email shortly. Okay, so thank you so much, everybody, and thank you for your patience this morning. And I look forward to crafting with you again tomorrow. That's Tuesday. I hope you have a good day today. Take care, look after yourselves and your loved ones, and I hope you can keep crafting. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.